Oh, man? What's up, man? Julian, what's up, bro? Nice, what's up, man? Stop videos, what's up? What's up, everybody, man? I'm actually up right now. It's crazy because it's like 2:04 in the morning, and I can't believe I'm awake. But when my guy pop up, I guess he could just join straight in the podcast. But salute to everybody. Salute to Dog. He's probably asleep right now as well, but it be like that. Yeah, salute to everybody. Salute to Canal. Salute to Reginald. Salute to Joseph. Salute to Jarrell. Salute to Porzingas, like I said already. But yeah, man. Salute to Diehard, man. I don't know, man. It's 8 a.m. where Andy is at right now. So hopefully when Andy pop up, I could pop Andy right in. But shout out to the Knicks, man. The Knicks is the Knicks is finally winning games. And of course they'll be winning games in mid-March when we are 10-9 games below 500 and have been dealing with injury and dealing with COVID, and we're watching about 5 different Knicks teams this season, and it's crazy, man. It's crazy, and I came across a stat, right? And since All-Star break, the Knicks is tied in the NBA for the best defense in the league. First is actually the Boston Celtics, and the Boston Celtics and the Knicks are actually tied right now in defensive rating with 108.2. So that's very impressive. So it's the Celtics, then it's the Knicks, then it's the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Minnesota Timberwolves is a team that right now is 10 and 11, and they are hot as hell. So, we just got to stick to it. I get mad at a lot. Like I get mad at the fact that this guy Tibbs just refuses to play young guys consistent minutes, like that little stuff like that. Like you DMP Miles McBride when Quentin Grimes come back. So like it's little stuff like that where it's like, dude, like come on, bro. But that's Tibbs' mantra, man. He plays to win. Tibbs wants to win his way. Tibbs he's a Hall of Fame coach. Sadly, Tibbs gonna play his guys regardless of the situation. And we could sit here, we could complain, we could talk about rotations and talk about what Tibbs is not doing. But hey, I've been done talking about minutes for young guys when it came to this team. Like I've stopped that. I stopped those complaints about a couple of weeks ago, about 2-3 weeks ago. Now I'm just focused on the development of the young guys and other people. But it's crazy, man. Tell Evil to get Google Pay or he sucks. Yeah, man. Smash them like buttons, man. We're trying to. So NBK fam, shout outs to Podfather Sim. We're trying to actually make this like a whole network. Like, so, you try to get diehardknicks.com, shout outs to my guy Evil if you want merch, but you try to make Diehard Knicks a network as well. So let's see, man. Let's see how we can, get this thing going, man. Shout outs to my guy Evil, man. Yeah, wow. It's 5 p.m. over here, man. It is 2:08 a.m. right now. So shout outs to Andy. Andy said he is on his way. So appreciate you, my guy, for telling me that. But yeah, like the Knicks is funny. So what me and Andy was gonna talk about tonight, morning where Andy is at right now is we're gonna talk about Kristaps Porzingis. How me and him feel about Kristaps Porzingis. How do we feel about, what if he wanted to come back, if he declined his option to be a Wizard, for the 2023 off season, and we also going to talk about a couple of other things, but the Kristaps Porzingis thing had caught my eye. It caught my eye because, what happened with, first of all, shout out to Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson was a horrible executive. He stunk at his job. Phil Jackson had went to sleep during Donovan Mitchell's workout. Something that we all famously know. But all the bad that Phil Jackson done, he did do some positive things. One of the positive things that Phil Jackson did was draft Kristaps Porzingis, a top 5 pick, by the way. Phil Jackson didn't trade none of our first round picks. He actually got Dolan to not butt into what we was trying to do. I think we had to get Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson was like a part of the timeline. It's just something that had to happen. I hate the guy. I hated what he did. I hated the way he treated Carmelo Anthony. Yes, Carmelo Anthony, he had some selfish things about him, but Carmelo Anthony's a Hall of Famer. He's a legend, And Carmelo Anthony, his best point guard when he was a Knicks was Jason Kidd. He was 38 years old. I didn't like the way how Phil Jackson went about that situation. And I didn't like the way, I didn't like the fact that Phil Jackson gave Joakim Noah all that money. I didn't like the fact that Phil Jackson, didn't talk to the media a lot. Phil Jackson did a lot of bad things, but he left us in good hands, man. He left us with all our first round picks. He left us with, good cap room. Oh, this is funny.
What's up, man?
Hey,
I'm using my backup computer and stuff here, but I'm listening to you. You got your business voice on and shit.
Yeah, man. I'm tired, but I promised at 2 a.m. So I said, yo, let me get up and let me get this out the way, man. What's up, man? Talk to the people, man. First of all, why the hell are you awake? 1, 2, I could have sworn you say you did like an 18-hour shift yesterday. 3, I hope you have red wine somewhere like I do.
Yeah, I was dead ass sleep, but I'm looking for looking for all my backup shit. I couldn't find it, man.
So what's up, man? Talk to me, man. How you feel about Porzingis, man? Because I know you say that the poll that I put out earlier, it's a popular poll, by the way. Like usually when I put out polls, they probably only get like 100 votes, but this one got over 800 and it's clicking. So I'm assuming that Knicks fans is real touchy about it. I think 40% say they would take Porzingis back, and 28% said no, and 30% said go fuck yourself, state. So, so how you feel about Porzingis, man?
I mean, if you want to say statute of limitations, I think the statute of limitations might have passed already. As far as being mad at him and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he brought that on himself, but I think through time, I think that I mean, he did it to himself, man. He came in with a power move and stuff like that. So I guess going to Dallas thing, finally realizing that he's not the man. Am you getting feedback?
Mm-mm.
Well, him thinking he was the man, thinking he was going to be with Luka, being the second fiddle. So I think he might have humbled himself, playing there, being traded to Washington and stuff like that. So I think time, changes everything, man. So I think that he'll be more open to come to the Knicks, or whatever, especially on like it depends too. I don't really know what his market is because of his health issues and stuff. So it is interesting, man. We might be able to get him on a cheap deal or whatever. And if you want to talk about who's going to replace Mitch, there you go. Kristaps and freaking Jericho Sims. That would be some funny shit.
Okay. So while you was talking, I see our brother Andy pulls up. It's broad daylight outside his window, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
what
different,
up,
right?
man? Sorry for being late, but listen, I don't know how I calculated this time difference because we switched time this night, right? So you guys were first. The regular thing is you guys are 6 hours behind me. So I was calculating two, so it's gonna be eight, right? And now all of a sudden, I'm watching Iru's episode with Josh, and I ended up, and then I see a notification that state is on, and I was like, it's supposed to be in an hour. I was thinking maybe he's warming up or stuff like that, and I was like, no, the show is on. So I was like running around, just getting the laptop ready and stuff like that. So now I'm here.
So you do daylight savings too in Poland?
Yeah, we changed the hour still, but I think they're talking for a couple of years that they're stop going to changing it. So I wonder when
That's,
that's going to happen.
so the night we decided to do this shit, that's when it's daylight savings.
Yeah.
That should make no sense, man.
Oh my god.
But this is funny, man. So this is the first time I ever opened up my channel to you guys. So I watched State started. I watch him put his business casual voice on. He's trying to be all professional with him, but by himself on the pod. This shit is funny, man.
Doesn't look natural, right? It's
Yeah.
his business voice.
Yeah, yo, bro, you don't understand how hard it is to like host. It is very difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I know that. That's why I ain't got my show yet.
Hey, man, pull the scab off, man. So this is your baby here, man. So you guys gotta get it together.
Yeah, man. We're gonna try, man. We just gotta stick to it. Be consistent. I basically committed to like every other weekend, so just basically every 2 weeks we could go on 2 a.m. and that'll be enough time to have enough news about the Knicks. And also, just like Evu said, Andy, like me and Evu was talking off pod, it's a lot of people who do overnight jobs, bro. Like you will be surprised how many people who do overnight shifts, and it's difficult for them to actually like tune into pods 9 to 10 p.m. or 10 to 11 p.m. or 11 to 12, because they'll probably be on their way to work. So like I felt like this is the perfect place where we can get our points across and thoughts through, but at the same time it's like we're not interfering with literally nobody.
Right.
Yeah, and like you guys said before, it's listen, there's fans around the world. So in Europe, it's like morning, right? I think people are gonna chime in, and especially if it's the weekend. Also, listen, I bet you like in Australia, it's like again like 7 more hours you could add. They're that way ahead, so that's regular perfect timing for them. So I think we still might get a couple of clicks if we do a good job.
Yeah. So far, so good. 14 people. I wasn't expecting even that much people to be
Yeah.
being at the moment. Yeah.
Hey,
For me, like as a regular person, I like guys have podcasts that come on at 11, 12, 2, 3 in the afternoon. I can't make those at all. Even 6. I can't make those podcasts. So I usually, if I even catch them, I try to catch them on a replay. You know what I'm saying? So nice stuff is pretty good. Yeah, so get back into the topics, man. You talk about Kristaps. What do you think about Kristaps, Mr. Andy?
Listen, first thing off, I'm gonna get back. I'm gonna get back to the whole situation that came up when the info was that he wants to get out of here, right? I don't think that's totally on Kristaps, because when he came to the Knicks, we had Melo, right? Melo was the star. He knew what you can do with an organization. And that being said, I'm talking about we heard that Amari Stoudemire, he had his bouncer, his personal bouncer, became the security chief of the whole Knicks, security staff. So no, and that's probably not Stoudemire's brother or nothing like that. I bet you that Melo got a couple of jobs, positions, for his friends at the Knicks organization. And I'm not saying maybe someone were selling in the stand stuff, but he still hooked up a couple of people with a job, right? I'm guessing that Kristaps being, a foreign dude from Europe, when he was, he took his brother basically with him, and I really think that he was just looking for a job for his brother. And at that time there was a little bit of change, not only in coaching but also in management and stuff like that. And I think finally someone said that they got to cut it off. And it dropped on Kristaps, right? He was trying to get a job for his brother. That didn't pan out, and he was like, listen, if everybody does it around the league, and probably that's what he heard, right? Because he's a young guy, he probably didn't get it. And I don't think that he was that much of a savvy, player that you can get deals done, under the table at that young of an age. But his brother is a little bit older, right? He was his agent at that point, so he was looking out for himself, basically, right? So he put up his brother to a task to get him a job on the next organization, because that would basically hook him up for a good salary probably. And listen, I was thinking straight up that they were just looking for a job. So if you want to keep KP happy, just give a job for his brother. And I'm not, a proponent for that, that you just, get job. But listen, there's around the world is like 80% of the people, maybe 70% of the people, they got jobs because they got, someone working there, and they got, like a job just basically out of the fact that they know someone, not of their skill set, but just that they know someone. That's the first job, or something like that, right?
Yeah,
Eh,
nepotism.
yeah, exactly. So I think that was the situation. The it turned south fast when the Knicks said, "Nah, we ain't gonna do it." And then KP was like, "Whoa, I'm supposed to be the star. I'm supposed to be the guy here, and you ain't gonna hook up my brother with something."
Yeah,
He wouldn't even have to just get him on the payroll.
you
So
spicy European, so I'm quite sure. You're not gonna give me a job. Are you crazy? Do you know who I am? Do you know who I am? That's probably what happened.
so
Yeah.
real quick.
So listen, and state that's why I
Mhm.
think KP got a little bit of rough feather then, and I think maybe it was an honor, because there's no honor in that, but he was like, "Oh, you ain't gonna do it, so then I want out." And they were like, "Listen, you asked for it, pronto. We got a deal set up already. We're just gonna call these guys, and deal is done." And I think he was surprised, because I think he was him by saying that he wants out. I think it might have been a situation where he was thinking that they basically, he's gonna stall it for a couple of days, and then they're gonna do it, because the Kristaps trade was like before the trade deadline. It wasn't the last day of the trade deadline. So he was thinking like, listen, I got a week, maybe two, maybe they're gonna, finally, go to their senses, and give my bro a job. And then that like I said, that turned south. That's why and the man, I think the management made it look like it ain't our fault. He wanted out. But I, deep in my heart, I think he just asked for a job that didn't pan out, and then is like, oh, I ain't gonna make a fool out of myself, and stay here or whatever. Yeah, let's go with it, and let's go through with it. And that's why KP ain't a Nick now, and he's hated a couple of years after.
So I think real quick, to answer the whole brother being hired by the Knicks, I think I think Chris Brickley was hired by the Knicks, and that was Carmelo Anthony's trainer, I believe, at the time. And when Phil Jackson had got hired in 2014, I believe that his job was probably in jeopardy. Um, and it's little things that like that. When I listened to you just now, bro, I thought of James Dolan. And the reason why I thought of James Dolan is because you gave our star, like you gave Carmelo Anthony that leisure to have one of his friends be hired by the Knicks, right? And they didn't give that same leisure to Kristaps Porzingis. Um, I don't believe that's good business. For me personally, that's how draft pick. I believe like you're supposed to treat him with the utmost respect. this is why I'm still kind of pissed at the Knicks about paying Nerlens Noel before they paid Mitchell Robinson. It like little stuff like that can agitate a player, bro. So no, and honestly, I don't think Kristaps axed out. I just think that the Knicks just didn't want to pay. I'm being honest. I don't think the Knicks wanted to pay. He's a 7'3" big man coming off of an ACL injury. He hasn't played in a year and a half actually at the time. And I could only think about, you know, when he was sitting on the sideline and the Knicks was getting their head bashed in every day about when we drafted said player with a top 3 pick. I wonder if Kristaps was still going to be here. And the reason why I kept thinking about that was it wasn't because of Kristaps, bro. It was because of Steve Mills. I didn't trust Steve Mills, bro. I mean, it was no way I was trusting Steve Mills, bro, because he lied. And once you lie to me as a fan, like Tom Thibodeau has been doing for the past 2 years, I'm done with you. So I'm done with you. I think, you know, I think the Knicks just handled Kristaps poorly, bro. Handled him poorly, bro.
Well, can I throw a name in there? J.R. Smith. They freaking hired his brother, Chris Smith.
Yes.
You know, so there was a lot of nepotism going on. So I think right, Kristaps, you know, just to add to both of your points, I think Kristaps was just at a point where the Knicks were stopping all that bullshit. You know, they were cleaning up the front office. They were trying to get a lot of guys out of there that shouldn't have been there, especially Mr. Steve Mills. You know, to get all those motherfuckers out of there because it was destroying the organization. You know, James Dolan too, getting him out of the office. You know, so I think it was just like a trickle down effect, and then you know it finally came to a head when we got rid of you know Chris Mills and just you know finally went on with this Leon Rose stuff because it's time to like run the organization like a true organization, not run it like a I don't know what you want to say like a day camp or whatever the Knicks were doing, man. You know, because that J.R. Smith, Chris Smith, that was a joke, you know. We wasted. We waived people. We wasted roster spots for that dude. We signed him to an actual NBA contract. He had no business being in there, you know. So you know, I think that's what it was. I think that the Knicks, it just came into like a wave where the Knicks were just trying to be, you know, professional, and you know, everything just came to a head, and then you know, the rest is history, you know.
Yeah, but I'm not saying that it was only the Knicks. I think it's a situation where it goes around the league.
Yeah.
You know, teams and managements want you know the player to be happy, so they're going to try to do whatever is you know capable of doing and getting him happy. Listen, if we can just slide a little bit, you know, on the side on this one, we can have a really good situation. We can have a situation like this. Really not far in the future. The Knicks, listen, they lost 2 assistant coaches. We might get, you know, there's word out that we might get Rick Brunson as an assistant coach. Bro, ain't that gonna lead to Jalen Brunson gonna be signed by the Knicks?
Yeah, we got to be careful. We just explained it. We've been down that road before, you know.
Wholeheartedly, Rick Brunson. I don't know if you're ever going to listen to this. Please re-sign with the Mavs, brother. You don't need to be in this situation, brother. Re-sign with the Mavs. Play with Luka. He's special. You continue doing what you're doing with Luka, making your $21 to $25 million. We good here. I'm good, Andy. I'm good, Dara. I don't want no Jalen Brunson. I'm so over the B-level, C-level point guard. He's a good player. But can you get me a Colin Sexton? I need the sexy unknown. That's what I'm looking for. I need the Jared Allen of Cleveland. You get what I'm saying? Like I need that type of pickup. I don't need no more Evan Fournier, Alec Burks. The guy's 28 years old. This whole journeyman bullshit. I'm done with that, bro. I'm so done with that. So when I think about guys like Kristaps Porzingis, who was our draft pick, he was our draft pick. The man literally, and we've never seen this before, a rookie guy before his max deal kicks in gets traded You've never a top 5 pick gets traded before his next contract on certain team. That will probably never happen again. I'm hoping it happens with Zion. I hope Zion go to Porzingis route. But yo, that's when you have a rookie who do that, I gotta blame the team more, man. It's how you handle him. And we was losing so much. So, you know.
One name I want to throw in there, Walter Perrin. And we signed him to be an assistant GM, and we haven't heard from that motherfucker since he got hired. You know what I'm saying? So, but I mean, one of the reasons why he got hired might have been for Donovan Mitchell to try to get him over here eventually. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, also Johnny Bryant. Listen, Johnny Bryant, he was working really closely with the guards on the Jazz team. So I was thinking that, they're gonna give an opportunity to Bryant as far as an assistant coach, but deep under, I think they were like, listen, we got the first step made. We got the phone number of Spider, so we can at least call that dude.
He got him on freaking what's that shit?
Speed dial.
Yeah. FaceTime and shit.
Yeah.
All right. So let's keep it on that subject real quick. Interesting. Now that I got both of you guys here, I might as well shoot this question, man. How do y'all both feel about Tom Thibodeau, man? Everybody knows how I feel about him. I don't care about what new rotations I see. I don't care about him because anything new that I see from him is due to injury or it's due to COVID. It's not because he wants to do it genuinely. Like, it's certain things in life, Andy, that you do for your kids or you do for your friends or anybody else that you love genuinely, right? Tibbs, this 64-year-old maniac, he don't do things genuinely. He didn't play Quentin Grimes because he wanted to genuinely play him. He played him because of injury. So how do y'all feel about Thibodeau? Because I'm done with him. I want him fired this summer. If he's back next season, listen, I love Dawg. Dawg gonna have to talk me back to he's gonna have to talk me back to earth because I'm out on him. He comes back next season. I don't think we're making the playoffs for him next season. So next season is gonna be a therapy session for me. Because I go ahead.
I gotta say, I don't love no man. State keeps saying he loved me. I don't know about that, man. I keep trying to tell him, I like women, and you know what I'm saying. But what do you think, Andy? Because me and State have basically got the same opinion about it. So what do you think about it, Andy?
Listen, for me, I hate his offense. That's one, and I hate it because of not one thing. I hate it because it's really bad. It's several things. It's basically you could flip it around and I would like to watch the Knicks a little bit better, right? So he's a problem. That's for sure. He's a problem. I'm not saying that he's probably the main problem. Actually, it's not like he's not. That's one of the three things or stuff like that. He's a problem, and he's probably the biggest problem. But what's your solution? Because just changing him for and sitting even Sim from nothing but Knicks on the bench. Listen, that's not the whole solution that you got to be looking for. Taking up a rookie coach. You think Johnny Bryant is going to make a better job than Tibbs? Like straight off the bat, because I'm not saying that in 5 years, because the Knicks fan base ain't taking 5 years of Johnny Bryant not making the playoffs. We got to get clear about that. Listen, Mike Miller was an interim coach, and some fans were like, yeah, listen, what he could do because he had 30 games, right? Listen, it's like Randall said, you can do 9 things out of 10 good. That one thing you do bad, fans are going to point it out. They ain't going to praise you on that 9 good things you did. So listen, if we got a solution and if you guys got a name, I can listen. But if it's just to change things, listen, I don't like juggling things around. I rather have stability, and at least I'm going to know what's going to happen. And then I can judge him. Listen, he didn't, change up the offense. I can blame him. And I'm blaming him, today, right? I'm just saying that maybe at least it's going to be a situation when these guys, have that chemistry so high that we can actually win a couple of more games, and a couple of more games is going to get us into the play-in. I'm not saying that we're going to be number 4 seed again, the almighty 4 seed. I don't see it because the East is so better, this year that, I think I saw already on Twitter, like you guys were talking about the Twitter beefs, right? I saw a guy, I don't remember which one it was. He was pulling out receipts that Knicks fans were saying, oh, we're going to be 52 wins, 55 wins, 60 wins this season. I already, after we signed Fournier and after we signed Kemba, I was like, yeah, these guys are better than what we had, but we still ain't going to repeat the 4 seed. That's not going to happen. Forget about that. From the jump, I said that's not going to happen. I was counting silently on the 6 seed, and if Fournier would pan out, earlier, if he would be playing like this from the beginning of the season, we would be in that 6 seed. There were so many things that went south on the season. The Derrick Rose injury, Kemba didn't pan out. Like, I don't think there was a man on earth thinking that Kemba's situation is going to be this bad. State, you were thinking Kemba's situation is going to be this bad? He wouldn't, start for any other team in the league. I think you can find a team that Kemba would start, and he would play way better than he did with the Knicks. And that's another thing that I'm bringing on Tibbs, because he ain't losing his players good.
Yeah, from 1 to 15, he ain't using nobody good, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yo, can I say something? Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, man. It's not Kemba Walker's fault. Now that when I look at the season in its totality, Kemba Walker could have started every game this season. Yeah. But when you got a guy in Evan Fournier making damn near $18 million, right? And I tell guys all the time that MSG politics is undefeated. MSG politics is undefeated. These guys will not sit a guy due to how much he's getting paid. So, realistically, you could have started Kemba Walker with Quentin Grimes, with RJ Barrett, with Julius Randle, and Mitchell Robinson, and you could have won games. That's realistically. But when you start Kemba with Evan Fournier, this is what you get. And even when we started Kemba, yo, bro, our record was like 12-13. So it wasn't like we was really horrible. I mean, hey.
No, I'm just saying that it's not Kemba's fault in the situation that he wasn't put in the position to play his basketball to his strengths. Mm-hmm. Listen, if you want to put a point guard, listen, we're playing Alec Burks at point guard. That's why Elfrid Payton wasn't a stupid option if you just want a guy to dribble up the court and pass it and run to a corner. You don't need to pay anyone money for that. Listen, you would get a janitor out there just to put up the ball up the court, pass it, and stand in the corner and never get the ball back. So if you're thinking a former all-star that can make buckets, and we saw he had a 40 couple point game this season, so he can score, but it's not like he's gonna have 3 opportunities, and if he hits 3 out of 3, he's gonna take the 4th shot, right, on the 5th shot if he makes them. And then he misses one, and Sims, your Tibbs is gonna, give him the Sims treatment. That he's just gonna yell at him because he missed 1 shot. So I'm thinking that Kemba Walker was really poorly, put into this offense. And from the beginning of the season, I believe, we till this day, I still think Fournier should be in another situation here. But I'm leaving that at the end of the season. State, I want all the numbers out there on Fournier, and we're gonna debate Fournier. So I don't want to be, I'm gonna defend Fournier now because you guys are gonna say, he didn't do that. He didn't.
You want me to be honest with you? I kind of like Evan Fournier. I like him now a little bit, but I like him in the sense of he's the shooter. He can shoot, bro. And when I seen that list of the Knicks 3-point most makes in the season, and I seen that John Starks was first with 217. That means in Knicks history, we need some better shooters. that 217 is the most in Knicks history for 3-point makes. Can we get some better shooters, fellas?
Yeah.
But
But
you know, I
but
like Evan.
I'm going to go even further with that Evan talk. But that's for I want the whole season to be gone because
Uh-huh.
I don't want anyone saying, "Oh, he didn't play this from the beginning." Or stuff. No, the numbers are going to be for the season. So
All right.
anybody gonna talk about any BS about Fournier anymore after I get that episode on?
Nah, I like Evan though. Me and Don, we haven't had a personal convo about Evan in like a couple weeks. I think we should soon. But yo, Evan good with me, bro. He's a shooter. I know he's not a great defender like that. I know at least he tries, right? He doesn't do the Julius Randle and just he's just not giving effort. I know he tries, but
Yeah,
he's just
listen,
limited
sometimes he
defensively.
has lapses, like about those
Yeah.
rebounds. Last couple of games, it was like the ball was damn nearly. You can grab a rebound just by putting your arm out, right?
Mhm.
So there's gonna people gonna have lapses. That's regularly, right? And listen, if they would be in a situation when if we win this game, we're making the finals, that dude will be diving for that ball. Since we are like, listen, that one possession ain't it. So no, that's why they're gonna run with it like that. So, but I really believe that Fournier's numbers after the season are gonna show plenty of things, and if we would be using him correctly, it would be a total different story.
Hey, I'm not mad at that. I think
Oh, you're gonna be mad because I'm gonna compare his numbers to
who RJ?
everyone, everyone.
Oh, I have
RJ,
no problem with
Julius,
that.
bro, former Knicks. I'm gonna compare him.
I, I have no problem with that. Let me throw this at y'all to go into the next subject. Kenny Payne left. He left for Louisville. Mike Woodson left. He left for his alma mater, Indiana. Uh, I find it interesting about what Julius Randle said. He said something in his interview about when Mike Woodson left, it was an adjustment. I found that very interesting. That has not left me. And then he said when Kenny Payne left, it was another adjustment. And Knicks assistant coach Darren Erman moved to the front of the bench after Kenny Payne took the Louisville job. Well, that's our new top assistant, and he's leading the NBA's best defense right now since the All-Star break. So, do you think Kenny Payne leaving, who does it affect the most? And I think, honestly, I think that affects like Randall and Mitch to a degree. Kenny Payne leaving.
Iru, you want to take it?
Well, I'm like drowning over here, so I got to give it to one of you guys until I get my situation settled over here, man.
Okay, so listen,
this is my backup system, so it's kind of like all jacked up.
Yeah, for listen, so for me, I think it's like you said, State, that it's definitely gonna affect Randall the most. One, because he's also they went to Kentucky, right? And he was a Kentucky assistant, so they know each other from there. Yeah, and I think he was like a father figure for the young guys, and basically big men, right? Because he was like that big man coach. I don't think we have anyone strictly from big man, and I think that was Kenny Payne's role. Then again, and that was probably also Woody's role, to be a father figure for the guys from the bench, that if they don't want to tell something straight up to the head coach, they go through him. If they don't want to go through Taj, through D-Rose, and they just want to say something, I think a head coach like Tibbs wouldn't appreciate pointers from his roster. So I'm guessing that was like the leeway, right? So the easy route for them. Yeah, but yeah, I think that's the that's going to be the situation with Randall. But then again, I don't think Randall. Listen, he's a grown man. He has a family now. he can't act like we saw him act this season. I understand that he's still young, but listen, he's supposed to be the top paid player on this roster, and probably is now, right? Because since RJ is going to get that bag, so I think he's going to be the top paid player on this roster, and you gotta lead the team. And I'm not saying that he might not have the best leaderships qualities and stuff like that, but he still has to show up at that category, for me at least. So if you're not leading by example on the court, you at least got to be that mental support that the young guys know that they can refer to, right? Defer to. And I don't think Randall is that, actually. And I'm not also blaming it fully on him. I just think that comes with the territory, with the responsibility for your teammates. And I don't think he's a good thing about that. Then again, listen, if I'm Randall, also my coach is getting paid. He's getting a head coach gig for the money that I saw. The salary is going to be above 3 million. I don't think he was earning that with the Knicks as an assistant coach.
Oh, nah, I think he was the top paid Nick assistant in the NBA. James Dolan be paying them brothers, man.
Oh, I was thinking, but listen, he still took the money for basically 75% of the season, right? So even if he leaves now, he's gonna get that money. But yeah, listen, a head coach gig at his alma mater is something that probably everybody dreams of, right? So I'm not blaming Kenny Payne of leaving unless his motivation was like, this ship is sinking, so I'm out of here. So, and he was looking for that job because that's the other thing. If they came to him, I'm cool with it. But if he was looking for that job because he's and unhappy with Thibs and stuff like that, that's a bad look for Thibs. And that might have been a situation state. I'm not going to lie that, listen, Tibbs is known that he ain't listening to those assistant coaches. They can be on the bench, but he sometimes we see Johnny Bryan run to Tibbs to midcourt even and whisper something in his ear, and Tibbs be like, whatever. And so no, that might be a situation. And just having assistant coaches just to practice with those two guys, but I'm going to tell you what to practice. I mean, exactly, the drill. Listen, I don't think, these guys, even as assistant coaches, if you tell them, listen, work on post moves, they got the knowledge to put in their drills, right? You can adjust them with a main coach, but just not thinking about them having the knowledge and the coaching abilities to teach these guys something. It might be a little bit disrespectful for them. That's why I think maybe Kenny Payne was like, listen, he ain't letting me do my job, coach. At the university, it was what, Calipari, or what? It was like, he at least let me do my drills. Tibbs ain't letting me do that, so I'm gonna just bounce at the first situation. And when that situation came up, he might have just send it a CV, right? And the guys at Louisville like, oh wow, we got this guy, let's run with him. So,
oh, man, yo, that's tough, man. That's tough. That's gonna be an adjustment, man. I hope for Tibbs' sake, I hope the ship don't sink on him personally, because it can sink fast. When Mike Woodson left, I noticed a big change in the Knicks offense. I don't know if anybody else noticed it, but I noticed a big change, man. It was less ball movement, man. Less diversity. In Mike Woodson's offense, it was always 4 out, 1 in. So we used to see a lot of Julius Randle in the paint and 4 guys out. We don't really see that a lot no more. We see a lot of Randle in the pinch post. We see a lot of Randle ISO. And it's all about putting your players in, situations where they can succeed. And I think that's one of the biggest knocks on Tibbs, is not putting his players in situations to succeed. And I think it's going to be even worse, man, without Kenny Payne here on the bench. I want Tibbs fired anyway, but I don't want him to go out like a sucker. That's all I'm saying. I don't want him to go out 10 game losing streak. I'd rather him go out just not getting out the first round for 3 straight years, and now we know we got to move on. I was listening to a podcast earlier. I was listening to Knuckleheads, and I was listening to Steph Curry, and I was listening to Steph Curry talk about Draymond Green. And it's funny how we're talking about our roster, and Stephen Curry said that every championship roster needs an asshole, needs Draymond Green, a vocal guy, a guy who's going to scream at everybody, a guy who everybody respects in the locker room. And when I look at the Knicks roster right now, I just see a bunch of nice guys. Julius Randle is supposed to be that guy, but he's just not mentally wired that way. So, do you think? Am I wrong for saying that the Knicks need an a-hole? We need somebody who's rah-rah and less.
Pause.
Yeah, pause. You get what I'm saying.
Yo, State, I'm going to tell you something. I agree with you on this point that the Knicks need a guy like that because we don't have him. Actually, we might have an asshole. I don't think we have the asshole that people respect. so there might be a couple of assholes on this team. We don't know, but yeah, I think if that's what I was talking about. Referring to Julius Randle leadership, that it comes with a contract. If you don't have a guy like we had in Mook Morris, he was that dude on that team till we traded him. Dudes referred to him. Dudes were like, listen, he could, do a dirty foul here and there, and that was fine with the guys. Now, if someone just does it, like Randall would do a stupid foul, there's not going to be plenty of guys just, okay, calm down, stuff like that, because they know that was playing out stupid. It wasn't to send a message. That was playing out a stupid foul, right? And if Mook did it, it was like, I'm just gonna foul someone so the team, grows a little bit. They put out the chest, in the front, so they know that we're not about to get punked and stuff like that. When Julius does a hard foul, it's basically just a stupid foul, and nobody does. He doesn't have that charisma in him, for people to follow him, and I think that's also a problem. And I don't think charisma is a thing that you can teach. It's something you just get like born with. So I think, Julius definitely isn't that guy. And, on the asshole part, I think he might be closer to that part, but, but I don't think he got, good leadership qualities. So that's why probably, this team also is in a problem because we don't have that guy. Maybe Reggie Bullock was that guy. I don't think Taj can be that guy because Taj he's so nice. He might say something behind closed doors, or if a scuffle is around the court, he can be like, okay, the guys don't do it, we're gonna get fined, we're gonna get something like that, right? So he's just gonna try to make it a little bit quieter there around there. And the worst thing is, do you guys really think that players can go to Taj or to D-Rose just to send a message, something to the coaches? For example, I don't know. I know that Sims is not going to do it, but for example, Obi would go to Taj and say like, listen, I would really love to have more playing time. And, if you could, whisper a word to Tibbs for me. And Taj would be like, listen, you got to work your way up. You work your way up, right? And if I just can't imagine Taj going to his office and say like, listen, Obi's unhappy on the bench. I think we got to give him more playing time. Tibbs would be like, Taj, just close the door behind you, bro. He would be like that.
Go back to what you was doing, man. Get back on the bicycle, man.
Yeah. So I think that would be the situation rather than that they could say like, listen, maybe quickly would like to well, quickly is a bad example, man. I don't like that player. Maybe someone like that it would have actually legs to the story, right? and Tibbs would like reconsider it. I don't think even Taj or D Rose are the guys that can. I don't think there's a person on the world that can say something to Tibbs and he will reconsider his offense or whatever, his philosophy. So
But
that's the problem with the assistant coaching and him.
yeah, that's the point I was going to say too. I was going to rewind you guys back to Woodson. I think State was the one that said it. He said on Woodson's offense, right? So I mean, like if Tom Thibodeau was doing something wrong, I think Woodson was the only one that could come out that had enough cachet to say anything to Tom Thibodeau, and he would listen. Shout out to Kenny Payne. I think that Tom Thibodeau wasn't listening to Kenny Payne. He wasn't listening to Johnny Bryan and none of these guys. So Woodson not being there, I think Woodson was literally like the assistant coach. Like in the ear, like say like a Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr has that other guy. What's his top assistant that he had at one point? Steve Kerr, the dude
He
that
got
was on
Atkinson now. He got
yeah,
plenty
he
of
had,
guys
yeah,
actually there on the coaching staff.
yeah, he has Atkinson now. When they won the championships, he had that other dude from Cleveland. The one
Mike
I
Brown.
keep forgetting.
Mike
Yeah,
Brown.
Mike Brown.
Yeah.
He had Mike Brown as the top
Yes.
assistant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you need those guys in order to to reel the coaching, because sometimes the coach is drowning and you need that assistant coach to tell them, listen, man, that's not it. So the coaching staff needs the same thing as the players do. As far as the players, look at Julius Randle running around. There's nobody that's gonna check him and stop him and bring him back to earth. So Knicks have a lot of issues with that. I think RJ is getting there. You can see him pulling the guys into huddles and stuff like that. He's getting there. But I mean, he might be like maybe next year or the year after that he might pull into that role. But the Knicks, that's the Knicks problem right there. The Knicks need accountability not only in the players amongst themselves, but they also need accountability in the coaching staff. And that bridge where you talking about going into like the coach's office to have that conversation, that's no good either, man. Most championship teams, I'm quite sure Draymond Green has an open, the matter of fact, the whole team probably have like an open office thing with Kerr. Phil Jackson used to give guys books and stuff. They used to hang out after. So most championship teams they have an open door policy. So I think that needs to change as well.
Yeah, and listen, with the assistant, like picking the next assistant coach, or like you said, like a guy that was a head coach in the NBA that you can actually rely on, like changing these things and stuff like that, he has to be handpicked by Tibbs. Because if they are going to bring, I don't care who, for D'Antoni, Atkinson, whoever, right? Tibbs is going to be like, oh, these guys are getting another head coach. In case I screw up, he's going to take my job. So I don't think he was afraid that he's going to lose his job to Johnny Bryant, because he's a young guy and stuff like that. But I think if you bring a former NBA head coach on the staff for Tibbs, that he was like, yeah, listen, I don't know, maybe he's going to help, maybe I could use him and stuff like that. That would be like looking for Tibbs' replacement while he's still the coach. So I think it has to be a guy that Tibbs is 100% on board with. Because we're gonna start screwing up from the front office down, and that's gonna be again an issue which the fans are gonna point out like after 5 games.
Andy, can I be honest with you?
Of course.
I don't give a shit about catering nothing to Tom Thibodeau. To hell with Tom Thibodeau. To hell with what he wants. I know that you probably know you and but some of those coaches on Tibbs' bench was from Leon Rose, actually in World Wide West. World Wide West was the one who said to Leon Rose to give him some of his assistants. He didn't want too many Tom Thibodeau assistants on the bench. So that's the reason why you got Kenny Payne and you got Johnny Bryant and those guys. So I'm firmly against getting guys who are just for Tibbs. Like I'm against that. I'm firmly against that. Man.
That might have been the biggest problem, though, because Tom Thibodeau didn't really get to pick his coaching staff. Tom Thibodeau, most of the coaching staff is guys that the front office picked. So I mean, usually the coach is allowed to pick their whole staff, and he wasn't allowed to do that. So that's a problem in itself, because there's nobody to check Tom Thibodeau, because he don't respect nobody out there.
Yeah, but here's my rebuttal for that. Was it a problem during the almighty 4th seed? No.
Well, because you made that point. Woodson probably was the coach. Woodson probably was like the main offensive coach, or at least a branch between the players and the coach. To make
damn,
everything come together.
damn, you got me with that one. Got me with that one. Yo, everything. The most important people for the Knicks right now, moving forward, is the people we don't see. I think those are the most important people, man. Because my biggest gripe about this season, I think overall, when it comes to you know us making the plan and us tanking, is I don't want to be in no man's land. I don't want to be stuck in the middle of the road. I don't want a middle of the road lottery pick. I feel like we actually deserve a top 3 pick this year if we don't make the playoffs. Um, Adam Silver gave the Lakers a bone in 2019 and moved them up from 12 to 4 in the lottery. You move the Grizzlies up a bunch of spots to get them John Morant. You move everybody else up in the lottery, but you don't want to help the Knicks out. I think this is probably the first off season where we're not even trying to tank. That's what's crazy about this season, dog. That we're not trying to tank. We're trying to win every game. And even though we're still losing, I just feel like we just deserve it, man. We deserve some type of compensation for the almighty 4th seed, man. I need compensation for that, man. I'm looking at Scotty Barnes, 37, 10 and 6, and I'm hurt. So I need compensation for that. So I don't know, man. A plan or a top 4 pick, man, something, man. Playing against the Nets or the Hornets, and then we beat them. I think that'll salvage my season for me, man. A playing win or a top 5 pick, man.
What do you think about that, Andy? What do you think about tanking? Because me and Josh was talking about that. I just don't think, in my opinion, about tanking. I just think we can tank, because if you quote unquote tank, we still might win. You know what I'm saying? Because if you take out some of the guys that are playing, like our point guards and all this, if you change the rotation as far as point guards and shooting guards, whatever, we still might win. So the only way that we can truly tank is if we just say, tell Julius Randle to go take a nap or something like that for the rest of the season. That's like the only thing that can really happen.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Listen, the definition for tanking for me is like you clearly get the info before the game that listen, we ain't winning this game. So you play like 3 quarters and you see what's the situation. If that tanking thing settles itself like we're down 20, you just ride out the game, right? But if you're like up and you gotta lose, I'm gonna make a route, a pass to the stands, whatever, just throw a ball at someone's foot. So you get you lose on purpose. That's tanking for me. Switching up and playing young guys or guys that didn't get burned on the roster ain't actually tanking for me, because like you said, man, we might win more games with those guys than we got on the court. So and you probably switch up the tactics and just see if it's gonna work, and then blame it. Oh, listen, we switch up the tactics and it didn't work. I was thinking it might be better, or stuff like that. And I would be cool with trying things, meanwhile losing, but tanking straight up like we're up 5 and we're just gonna throw 2 passes to the stands straight up, that's gonna look bad. So I'm not
tanking.
yeah, actually that's tanking, right? But listen, if I wanted to lose games, I rather go with like listen, tips, change up the offense. We want to see if Fournier can be a point guard or whatever, right? And then see what's gonna happen. And if it ain't gonna happen,
let's see if Mitchell Robinson can be a point guard. That'll tank the season.
Yeah, let's play Mitch at a 3. Maybe he can dribble and get to the lane and dunk on someone. So yeah, listen. So
you gotta be very careful though, because
I'm not straight up for tanking. I'm just cool with trying other things, other guys, and then losing, rather than like straight up, listen, we ain't gonna win this game. If we're up 20, we gotta lose that lead in the 4th quarter.
Listen.
Well, what I was gonna say, that you got to be very careful, because the NBA will accuse the Knicks of purposely, losing games, and we might end up losing a draft pick for the next 5 years because we decide to throw games at the end of this year. So you got to be very very careful with that too.
Yeah.
So you know, I'll give y'all a good example. The OKC Thunder. OKC will never ever get the one pick. You know why, fellas? Because they're blatantly tanking. So tanking to me is playing straight young guys, regardless of the results, win or lose. But you usually will lose more games than you win, right? So OKC has been playing young guys from game one to now, right? What we're doing is not tanking, right? It's something that I don't want them to do, but you know, I would like to see Miles McBride and quickly start with RJ Barrett. That's just me personally. But the Knicks aren't tanking. So you will have to subject yourself to see Alec Burks starting, for the rest of the year and Evan Fournier. And we're going to shut up and we're going to love it. It hurts, bro.
Yeah, but I still OKC. Listen, they got like everybody young that there. I don't think they got anyone on the roster that Steven Adams. So not Steven Adams. Who no, the center is right now. Roby now. He's still a young guy, so
Yeah.
I don't think they got even vets on that roster. So that it looks like they're tanking from day one, and I think they're still waiting for that 1-2 picks, like Philly did. Philly was like tanking 12 years straight up, and they had like top four I think picks, right? There's only one dude left on that from that tanking, 10 years. Only one dude, only Embiid.
Yo, yeah.
So, and listen, that's just the general manager's philosophy of building a team. At one point, I could understand it because if you're such in a shithole like OKC is, that you had three almost MVP caliber players for the season and you still couldn't work it out, I think that the route for you is like set, man. I don't think anybody's signing like any respectful free agent there. So you just gotta draft the guy on a certain year that's gonna be the LeBron. So they're gonna tank next 10 years if generational talent isn't gonna pop to their hands.
But you
And
made
say,
that point,
listen,
man. They had three.
yeah, they had three MVPs. They had Harden, they had Westbrook, and they had Durant, and they had them on one roster, and they couldn't keep him there.
Hold
So,
on. Along with Serge Ibaka, Jeff
Yeah.
Green. I remember that young that
And-
was a young, good roster, man. They
And
only
listen,
vet was Nick Collinson, I believe.
No, I think that was he was in the draft with one of those guys, but he still was like a respectful center. So he could be a starting center in the league back in the day. Maybe not the top tier or whatever, but he could be on the court at least with those guys. So yeah, and stay. But listen, I got this whole philosophy about this tanking thing also. Now when the lottery is changed, that's one story, right? The lottery is changed. You still got, if we end up as the Knicks on the 12th seed, whatever, we still got like 18 or 17% chances of getting up to the top 4 seeds, right, in the draft. But for me, the thing is totally different if they would totally revamp the whole lottery system. There would be no lottery. Literally, you would play for the picks. And that's way easy to do, State, because you would basically reward teams that don't make the playoffs, and there are like one piece away from changing the landscape of the NBA. For example, the who's going to be the 9th seed now. I'm not going to say the Nets because screw them.
I think
For
it's probably the
example,
Hornets. But what incentive? So real quick, what incentive do I have just to play devil's advocate? If I'm a player on that said team, what incentive do I have to play hard in a game for a lottery pick that might take my rotational minutes? We all human here, Andy. I'm not letting nobody else take my minutes, bro.
Yeah, yeah, I understand that state, but listen,
Mm-hmm.
you're playing for the playoffs. That's one. That's why you got to be, top of, you want to be top in the standings, right? You don't make the playoffs, then they do a bracket. Like the
Mm-hmm.
top 16 gets a bracket, and the bottom whatever is left, right? They get a bracket, and they basically play for the pick.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, if you're gonna be playing bad, the team is still just gonna trade you. Why they need a player that's gonna turn around and not play for the team? You would trade that guy in a minute if you would know whoever is not playing to win for your team, right? Why you need a player like that on your roster? So for me, if you would do a bracket for for the teams that even just maybe not yeah, you could do it probably in a bracket, but you could just put the bottom four teams, because you got to have an even number, and just let them pick between 10 and 12, 10 and 14. Screw them. So it's tanking is not going to be rewarded in any way, in literally any way. And meanwhile, the team that's going to be like 10th, 11th in the conference, then you get that missing piece and you change the landscape of the NBA. And this year you didn't see the Hornets in the playoffs. Next year they get a top 4 pick and they get to the playoffs. Definitely, right? And someone from the playoffs gotta fall down. So that would be interesting for at least from my standpoint. That would be interesting because we wouldn't have franchise built for the next 20 years that they're going to make the playoffs, right? Because that would be a bigger rotation. Meanwhile, no, losing wouldn't be rewarded because you would be like literally having 10 to 14 pick, and those guys you would have to really have luck to get a pick there that would contribute to your team.
Andy, I got an effective way, Andy and Die I got while you was talking, I was listening to you, and I thought of an effective way to eliminate tanking forever. This is how you end tanking forever, Andy. The 14 teams that's in the lottery, give them the same lottery odds.
Yeah, that would be fun as well.
So literally, I have no incentive to lose anymore. I'm gonna ask you, if you're an owner and the lottery odds is the same between all 14 teams, why the fuck am I trying to lose?
Listen, they could also make something like that depending on the wins in the season, you just get extra cash that you split through the players. Like listen, every 82 games they get for every W they get like a million, right? And they split it up 15 ways.
Mm-hmm.
Guys would be, I'm not saying that would be like that they would kill for that money, right? Because they got still plenty of cash from the regular contract. But at least guys would ball out because it was like, we're gonna get like 5 more wins. That's gonna be like half a million game for to split for maybe the best player. Maybe they can split. They're not gonna split like 15 ways, right? Just some better players gonna get a little bit more and stuff like that. So they would play at least for the money.
I mean, if you got a family to feed, you gonna play for that money regardless.
Yeah. And listen, a million of 15 ways is still ain't something you got to put out at the strip club. So
I mean, whatever incentive that you can get, to improve, a team, but you don't want teams losing on purpose. So that's the reason why, like, I propose the whole, just give every team the same lottery odds. If you give them the same lottery odds, literally every time, the lottery would be an event, because if the team with the with the 14th odds, let's say if the team like the Nets, right? I'm just putting a hypothetical out there to get people like, what the so let's say if the team like the Nets, right? They are the 10th seed. They end the season as the 10th seed. And, they lose in the play-in, right? They just magically lose. So let's say if they go into the lottery. They got the same odds to get the first pick as the Pistons. So now, if you're a Pistons fan, you like, yo, I don't know, man. So imagine if they or what's another or a team like the Hornets. Imagine they have a better record than you, and they jumped you in the lottery for one pick. But at the same time, it's like it eliminates tanking because I don't want to see I don't want to see the number one pick always go to a trash team. I'm sick of that as well. Like, how dare you send Zion Williamson to New Orleans? I don't want to see him in a Pelican jersey. What? But that's what I propose to officially end tanking.
Yeah, listen, I think with that scenario, you would have to do like something that if you were a top 5 team, you can't get the top 5 next year because that shit will be ridiculous. Like, if for example, like the like you said, the Pelicans are gonna get like this and they're out of the blue, like the 10th seed in the West, and they get like top 4 seed and again, and they're the 9th seed, and they get closer to the playoffs, and they still get the top seed like 10 years in a row. You would be like, listen. You ain't making still the playoffs with all these picks. Screw you. Boom. So they should divide these teams like top 5. They just go to another bucket and you pick from them. After the 5 first lottery picks are sorted, then just pick from those guys that didn't pick the top 5 last year.
Yo,
But
yeah, man, yeah. I
one
like
point,
that.
one point I want to make with this with the lottery thing is that like these players they say like Deuce McBride and all that, that would be an incentive for those guys to play hard too, because I'm like begging for him to like just take the spot already because he's here. So but if everybody's in the lottery and the Knicks end up getting in the lottery, then his replacement is coming. So you're gonna have to play now in order to prevent your replacement from coming in here. Because I mean, if Jaden Ivey was drafted by the Knicks, then Deuce gets pushed further down the line, and we definitely don't he as a competitor, as a player, you just don't want that to happen. So that
That's a
might be an
fact.
incentive for guys to play extra harder.
Yeah, that's a fact. Especially, yeah, man. Especially with I think this should be the last subject. Um, I asked another question, dog. You know, I knew that I knew I was going to get a lot of blowback on this tweet, but I knew a lot of like logical Nick fans would understand like where I'm coming from. And you brought up already, it was Derrick Rose, and I love Derrick Rose. He's a part of the reason why our season is going to straight hell because Derrick Rose, he did a lot for our team. But at the same time, I just listened to you say Jaden Ivey, and you know, I can only imagine if we had got the 4th pick and we draft Jaden Ivey, and Tibbs say some bullshit to me like, Jaden Ivey got to compete for minutes. I will throw my laptop off my balcony if I gotta watch Ivy or Shet or one of these dudes have to come off the bench. I'm out. I'm out. I don't need to see that no more. So when I think about Derrick Rose, it's like I know he's gonna come back. He probably gonna come back next season, but it's like, come back for what? I'm looking for a starting point guard. I know Derrick Rose is not a starting point guard. I want Emmanuel quickly to play. I hate Emmanuel Quickly's play style. And if we had a trade, he's the first kid I'm shipping out of the door. And I love Quickly to death, but he's the first kid I'm shipping out of the door. But Quickly's my backup point guard right now. I would like to keep him there. He's actually flourishing right now in a 6-man role. Quickly's averaging like 15 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. But where's the room for Derrick Rose? He's not a shooting guard. Quickly's my backup point guard. I need a starting point guard. The only thing that keeps Derrick Rose here is Tom Thibodeau. So is Derrick Rose my starting point guard next season? I know that's not realistic. So one of y'all like tell me, what do we do with this whole Derrick Rose conundrum? Because I see you got Deuce McBride. I love the background, by the way, Andy. I keep staring at the picture, the number 2. So I see the picture, but talk to me, man. Y'all talk to me, man, with this whole Derrick Rose situation, man.
Yeah, listen, for me, Derrick Rose, he actually doesn't have that much value because the Knicks ain't gonna trade him to any team except like the Bulls. They ain't gonna do anything bad for D Rose. And listen, he had the opportunity to go to probably whenever team he wanted to get off the bench.
Mhm.
He picked the Knicks because I think it's close. And listen, what teams he played for? The Pistons, that's close to Chicago. The Knicks probably because he has Tibbs here. That's like one of the, he's such a family dude that he needs to have a clear cut situation that if something happened home, he just jumps on a plane and he's out of here.
Yeah,
And
that's
I
a
think
fact.
that's a huge thing for him that he could tell Tibbs, listen, midnight he can just send him a message on the phone. I ain't coming home tomorrow, and he's like, nobody gonna say a word. So I think that's why he's with the Knicks because of Tibbs. And the other thing is, any other team, I think it's only the Bulls that he's gonna play for because that's home. That's home. That's the only other team that he will play for. So it's the Knicks and the Bulls, and that's why I don't think a team like San Antonio, the Lakers, whatever, they can throw at the Knicks great trades. They ain't gonna trade for him because he's just gonna buy out the contract and go home. So I think that's the
Interesting.
case with D Rose.
Interesting. So D Rose only other situation realistically is back with the Chicago Bulls. Derrick Rose for Kobe White, by the way. I'm gonna just throw that out there. It's just a thought. Derrick Rose for Kobe White. But
Well,
For
Derek Moore,
Kobe White,
he makes $14 million, though, man. Like if you're gonna buy him out or anything like that, he makes 14 million. So I mean, how do we do that? He is an expiring contract, but I mean, there's still a lot of bread there.
I mean, work around it. That's the only trade I see. If he's gonna go back to the Bulls, I want Kobe White. You know, give me Kobe White, and we'll play cool. But in that scenario, that's where I'm like, I still don't have a starting point guard, so
yeah.
it's really tough, man. I'm all in
Listen,
on Colin
State,
Sexton, bro. Go ahead.
the only other situation is with D Rose is like he calls it quits, right? He's like, listen, I'm done here in the league. Just trade me somewhere. I'm gonna buy out my contract, and I'm gonna be basically the salary that you trade because I ain't gonna wear that any other jersey.
Mm-hmm.
And the team has to accept that they just gonna go off. For example, they extend Sexton, and they just want to get off the salary. So they're gonna take, for example, Noel's and Rose, and screw it. They can keep Noel's for a half a year, maybe then trade him somewhere else, and they're just gonna waive D Rose, and they can eat it up for a season. That's the only way that he's gonna do it, and I think that would be, let's say, respectful for the front office manner. So they made a trade that still made the player happy, right? Because any other way, bro, we ain't trading D Rose to any Lakers to play with that dumpster fire.
Nope.
Any other team that's, for example, the Blazers. Can you imagine D Rose going to the Blazers and wearing that jersey? That ain't gonna
Nope.
happen. So it's only the Bulls or the Knicks. No one else.
That's all of that. That's doing good business.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's doing good business. And this is another positive too. Like when I hear you talk about, D Rose back to Chicago. D Rose always has a home here. He's once a Knick, always a Knick. But at the same time, you got to think about timelines. If you really realistically want to see Quickly and Grimes actually like really grow, you might have to trade D Rose. You might really have to. I don't see, because I want to start in point guard, like first and foremost. I can't go into another season, Andy, and we don't have a starting point guard, man. It's 3:22 a.m. in New York, and I'm thinking about a starting point guard. That is bad. That is bad.
You're muted, Iru.
Evil was so muted, man. Oh God.
But now I'm surprised.
Oh yeah, it is 42 people, man. Get them thumbs up, man. Get them likes up. I appreciate you guys, man. I'm this is something new that me and Don spoke about. Andy was one of the first people. He was one of the first names that was brought up. Actually, because we said we needed somebody to do a podcast, but where it was actually, I wanted to do a podcast. Well, me and Don wanted to do a podcast, but I didn't want it to interfere with other podcast times. I wanted a time slot where I could actually we could actually dominate, and we ain't got to worry about nobody else recording at this time. So this time is perfect. So when I see 39 people, get them thumbs up, get them likes up, man. I love it. I love it. That means that I'm not the only person who's up 3:24 a.m. thinking about the Knicks.
Yeah, listen, for me, it's a perfect time too. As long as I'm not hungover from the day before, I'm gonna be with you guys here.
Oh man, but I guess I guess we got into everything. I wanted to let this run for about an hour, but we got to an hour and 22 minutes. Surprisingly, Andy, what are you doing for the rest of the morning? Are you making you some breakfast? Hopefully you can get you some breakfast.
Yeah. That's gonna be the thing. It's 8. After 8, so here, so I can regularly wake up and just get the kids something to eat. Wake up my wife so she doesn't sleep over too much. And yeah, and the I'm gonna go probably for some dinner or whatever somewhere and see what's gonna be the deal with it.
Oh, okay. I guess Dahard put Dahard is trying a bunch of things right now. Oh, he popped out. Oh, he got on the phone. Oh, your man is in the multiverse. It's official. Dahard is officially in the multiverse, man. Tell Eru, let Eru on to rant.
Yeah, I'm all jacked up, man. I don't know if you guys can hear me. I'm trying to make this trying to get back in this damn thing.
What you mean, Sully, man? You always welcome to come on and rant, man. We's actually about to get out of here. I know Andy, he wants to enjoy his beautiful family, eat some good breakfast, some eggs and whatnot. Eru looks like he's tired as hell. Me, I'm pushing it right now because I should be over here giving my lady attention, but I'm talking Knicks, 3:26 in the morning. so hey. Oh man, Brad Johnson, I appreciate you, man. It is 6:30 in Australia. Shout outs to my old podcast co-host, my guy. Shout outs to my guy, Mr. Mitchell, man. I appreciate you, King. Australia is definitely a place that we got a lot of listeners. I look at the analytics too, so I'll be noticing too. But Andy, man, first pod of many.
Yeah, to come.
Many to come. So we're gonna do this, every 2 weeks. Saturday, 2 a.m. people. Any last words for the people, Andy, before we get out of here, man?
Yeah, listen, like, share, subscribe. If you want any topics, we can jump on for you guys. Just holla at Twitter, whatever. Send it to Eru State, me, so we can have a certain topic to talk about. I'm not gonna say rant. We're still taking it easy. So we're gonna talk about it. Listen, and if anything wild comes up, probably closer to the draft and stuff like that, we're gonna be on top of it probably. So we're gonna prepare stuff, certain according to the occasion. Let's call it that way.
Yeah. As the shows continue, Andy, I will get better at sharing tweets and stuff. Dahard, this is my first time. I'm still a newbie at this. I'm wet behind the ears, but I get nice at it as the time goes by. But Andy, I appreciate you. for jumping on the pod. It's daylight outside of it. So just to show the contrast,
Yeah.
it is dark where I'm at, and it is daylight outside where Andy's at. So, Andy, man, I appreciate you, my guy. Dog. Any last words for the people, dog, before we get out of here, man? Because
Yeah, I miss all that beautiful love making you guys are doing, man, because my system's all messed up. But next time we do this, I'll have my regular setup. I'll move it out here so I can hear you. But I appreciate you guys.
Definitely. You gotta move the family for us to rent. Every 2 weeks.
Yeah, but this is dope, man. Even if you guys could do it every week, man. If you guys are up for it, man, I appreciate you guys coming on here. Shout out to Cully, because I totally forgot about Cully, man. And I'm surprised to see Jarrell here so late at night too, man. So I mean, if we could do something else, like if you guys want to add a third person to the mix, it's up to you guys. See how things go.
Oh man, yo, brother, anytime somebody else want to pull up, man, they can pull up. It's an open platform. We try to get as much people as possible. A lot of people got opinions. I spoke to Cully a bunch of times already, like on Uncle Freezy pod. So that's Uncle Freezy, who gave me the original thought to do something like this. So Uncle Freezy, I appreciate you. But anytime, man.
But we gotta be careful. We can't have too many light skinned motherfuckers on the screen at the same time. It might blow up the pixels or whatever. It might mess up the internet.
It might be too pretty, man. Oh God, man. But all right, well, let's get out of here. I'm about to finish this good old red wine right here. I don't know what this is, but
Oh, we got that. Yo, we got that in Poland too.
You got this in Poland?
Yeah, we got that too.
Okay. So I'm gonna finish this right here. I appreciate you guys. I'm gonna make sure I have a bottle of red wine every time I do this pod because I'm gonna need it. And I'm out of here, man. It's your boy State, Dog, Andy. Appreciate
you. Got to come up with a name. That's one thing. You guys got to come up with a name for this thing.
A name?
Yeah.
Hey, let's come up with a name now, Andy. Fuck it. Before we get out of here, what's a good name, man? I wanted to do. Now I couldn't do Knicks at night. Obviously couldn't do that. Andy, man, you gotta think of something, man.
You see my thing. You see my head, like
Dog, I ain't got nothing right now at the moment.
Yeah, we got to figure it out, man.
Or we can leave it to the fans.
You guys got fans. No, for real, we should do that. Maybe like a Twitter question or something like that. See if anybody can come up with a name.
Definitely,
we ain't taking any bad things like 3 bald dickheads or whatever. We ain't taking that. So forget about that, guys.
3 bald dickheads. Wow, man.
We need.
That sounds like an awesome podcast, man.
Yeah, we need that. Well, we need something that we can marketing well. So think about that, fans.
Yo, Sully, man, you work overnight, bro. You talking about you need Nick content, man. Sully, man, you gotta pull up to the next show, man. I see you, man. You writing a lot in the comment section. I'm extremely surprised Jarrell is up right now, the OG. Like, I'm surprised the OG is up. Late night Knicks. Of course, that was the first thing that came to my mind, Brad, but I can't name it Late Night Knicks because Freezy already then took that. Like, that's Freezy, man. Too. Like, I'm good. Ebony and Ivory Knicks. Maybe I'm too young. Can somebody explain to me the whole Ebony and Ivory
you ain't that young. You be killing me with that shit. You ain't that young. Ebony and Ivory, man. You probably was made to that song. Ebony and Ivory.
It's a song?
Yeah, man.
Oh God!
Look it up. Look up Ebony and Ivory, man.
And we're gonna have the intro set already, man, with that song.
Oh God! This guy's crazy. As long as you got the Kang emoji for me, dog, be good, man. That's all I need, man. Oh man. But let me get out of here, man, before I get in trouble. I appreciate you guys, man. Yeah. Yo, oh, crazy. But I appreciate you guys, man. Let me get out of here.
Yeah. Peace, fam.
Yo,
Till
peace,
next time.
family.
We're
Yo,
gonna be
till
back.
next time, man. Yo, the next show will be on. It is March 20th now, just so everybody can know who's watching. The next show will be on April 2nd. So we'll see all you guys there. And that's going to be an interesting show because by April 2nd, we should know if the Knicks are in the play-in. Or
Yeah,
we should know if we are.
We're going to know the magic number for sure.
Oh, man. But, all right, man. Appreciate you guys, man. Tricky Nicky, man. You. Oh, God. I'm out of here, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah, Tricky Nicky. Fuck you, Tricky Nicky, man. Let's close the show out with that. Fuck you, Tricky Nicky.